Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Gallatin, Tennessee, the campus of Volunteer State Community College for game number 4 of the day, number 4 for the tournament, the TCCAA Region 7 baseball tournament being hosted here at VolState in Gallatin, Tennessee. This matchup between the Motlow State Bucks and the Chattanooga State Tigers. Number 7 seeded Motlow State, number 2 seeded Chattanooga State. First game of the week for Chat State. Motlow State won 10-4 in play in game number 2 that went through Sunday and Monday. So they've been on this field. Actually been on it 4 times in the last about 10 days as they played the Volunteer State Pioneers in a conference series at the end of the year. Took 2 of 3 here on this field. Tim Reese with producer Reagan Smith back for this game number 4 of the day. Game number 1, Dyersburg State defeated Columbia State 4-2. Game number 2 was a mercy rule by Walter State, 11-1 over Roane State. And game number 3 just concluded. Southwest Tennessee held on to defeat Volunteer State 11-8. Chat State now will play Motlow State in the last game of today. Thanks for joining us on the VolState Sports Network. Let's get to the Toyota of Gallatin starting lineups. First for the visiting Bucks of Motlow State. Leading off playing shortstop, Irvin Hernandez. Batting second, playing right field, John Hale. Caleb Valdez hitting third, playing left field. Julius Scarce in center field, hitting cleanup. Tate Van Hooser at first base, batting fifth. Jackson Cawthorn behind the plate. He will bat sixth. Gabe Seibert is the second baseman. He will bat seventh. The DH, J.B. Bell, will hit eighth. Tucker Allen at third base, batting ninth. And on the mound for the Bucks, right-hander Nick Holbrook. Be on for his 13th appearance. All starts for the year as a 2-6 record, 6.91 ERA. Motlow State Bucks are coached by Dan McShay, assistant coach Patrick Music, as well as J.R. Gilmer. And now the starting lineup for the Chat State Tigers. Leading off playing second base, C.J. Morrow. Scott Campbell in center field, batting second. Left fielder Adam Haber will bat third, and the cleanup hitter Owen Brock behind the plate. First baseman Aiden McCaskey will bat fifth. Cade Chamley batting sixth, playing third base. Cole Brennan, the DH, will bat seventh. Mason Page in right field, hitting eighth. Connor Linkfield, the shortstop, will bat ninth. And on the mound for the Tigers, Charlie Smith with an 8-1 record. He and Matthew Gist tied for the team lead in most wins. This is the 11th appearance for Charlie Smith. It shows 5 starts, but I'm pretty sure that somebody hadn't been putting in the start every time Charlie Smith has been on the mound. I believe this is his 11th start of the year. Makes you wonder about the rest of the stats, but I'll read them as they're on the page. 55 innings, 44 hits. He struck out 48 batters. Opponents hitting .214 off of the freshman Charlie Smith from Knoxville, Tennessee. I believe he's from Powell High School. Thought I had a roster here that gave me that information. I might have tossed it earlier. As you see the coaches meeting with the umpires, and that is not Jake Wolf that will be behind the plate. So Tim Taylor, we will move right to left apparently. Not sure what's happening. Normally third base umpire will move to first base umpire will move behind the plate. And the home plate umpire in a previous game will move to third, but that's not how it's working. Tim Taylor will be behind the plate. We'll wait to see whether Brian Sheets or Jake Wolf is at first base. Meeting with head coach Greg Dennis of Chattanooga State Tigers and Dan McShay out there at the pregame meeting. Chattanooga State comes in with a 39-9 overall record, 18-8 in conference play. That's good enough for the second seed. Motlow State comes in at 26-20, 13-13 in conference play. Both teams have winning records away from their home fields. Motlow State 13-8, Chat State 12-2. Head-to-head matchup, Chattanooga State won 2 out of 3 against Motlow State. Played back in March, middle of March, as Chat State takes the field. Chat State won 12-4 in a 9-inning game. They also won 8-7 in the first 7-inning game over Motlow State. Motlow State took the third game 8-5. Charlie Smith pitched in game number 2 and went 6 2/3 innings, gave up 6 hits, 7 runs, 6 were earned, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts. Got the win. He faced Caden Alvey, who did not retire a batter in that ball game, took the loss. Scott Campbell for Chat State in that game hit a home run, and Caleb Valdez had one as well. So should be a pretty good matchup here. Charlie Smith, one of the best pitchers in the league, with a 3.88 ERA, 8-1. Colton Brumley got the win in game number 3 today. He moved to 13-2, which should have broken the tie unless one of the other 12-win pitchers across the nation got a win today. Charlie Smith, third in the league in ERA, behind Connor Burt of Dyersburg State and Anthony Figueroa, also of Dyersburg. Figueroa gave up a few runs earlier today, but 3.88 good enough for third, just ahead of Colton Brumley. We are about set for some baseball action here in game number 4. Irvin Hernandez will step in. Charlie Smith delivers the first pitch, a breaking pitch high, and we are underway at 8:22 Central. Game time temperature 69 degrees as Irvin Hernandez takes a healthy hack at that one. Comes up empty. I mean, Charlie Smith is bringing it, and Irvin Hernandez is trying to match the intensity with that swing. Heading to count 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1 ball, 2 strikes. That one fouled off the mask of Owen Brock behind the plate. Fastball up about chin level there to the Bucks shortstop. Comes in hitting .316. .424 on base average. Swings at a high fastball there and will go down on strikes. That is only the 9th time of the year that Irvin Hernandez has struck out. In 133 official plate appearances, that is a small amount. John Hale, the right fielder, wearing number 22 in the yellow jersey, up to the plate. So he's a fastball miss outside. Hale hitting .330, 7 home runs, 25 RBIs. Thanks for joining us on the VolState Sports Network. Hale fouls that one off the screen. Tennessee Community College Athletic Association, Region 7. Baseball tournament here in 2023. Walter State won a year ago. Top 3 teams a year ago. Pretty much the top 3 teams this year, although Southwest Tennessee has found its way up in the elite portion, top 4 of the conference. Includes this team, Chattanooga State. Grounded to the right side. McCaskey will get over there and toss to Smith. I believe that is Jake Wolf again down at first base, and it is. Umpire calls John Hale out on a bang-bang play. 3-1. If you're scoring at home, Caleb Valdez steps to the plate. 2 outs, nobody on. We're getting started in the first inning. They will check with Brian Sheets down at third base, who says no, he did not go. Good crowd here at Pioneer Field in the Tim Garrett Baseball Complex. Charlie Smith looks like he's just rearing back and firing the ball. Saw him pitch, I think it was game 1 of the conference season, Chattanooga State versus Volunteer State. It was a little farther away and a little higher up in the press box. Didn't seem like he was rearing back quite like he is right now, and he's now gone 3 balls, no strikes to Caleb Valdez. From Dalton, Georgia, 5'9", 180-pound sophomore. Leading the club in hitting among regulars, .344 coming into today's game. 3-0 pitch at the letters for a called strike. On deck, Julius Scarce, the center fielder. 3-1 pitch coming from Smith. Popped up in the infield. Connor Linkfield, the shortstop, will make the catch for out number 3. 3 up, 3 down. In the top of the first inning, we're heading to the bottom of the first. You are watching TCCAA Baseball Conference Tournament action on the VolState Sports Network. Nick Holbrook out on the mound for the Motlow State Bucks. He will face C.J. Morrow, Scott Campbell, and Adam Haber for the Tigers. Morrow, a freshman from Ontario, Canada, bats from the left side First pitch from Holbrook misses somewhere, maybe inside. Morrow leading the team, hitting .394. Also leads in walks. Fouls that one off. Second on the squad, or third on the squad in hits with 52, 12 doubles. He's not left the yard yet, 34 RBIs. Fastball on that inside corner, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Vocal crowd here, including the Chat State dugout, as Jackson Cawthorn thought he had a strike call right there, but Tim Taylor does not oblige. Swing and a foul tip into the mitt of Jackson Cawthorn. C.J. Morrow goes down on strikes for the first out.
Now batting for the Tigers, number 4, Scott Campbell.
Scott Campbell steps in. Scott Campbell, first team all-conference outfielder. Comes in with a 3-game hitting streak. Sees the first pitch strike. Campbell hitting .342. Not a lot of home runs by Chat State, only 14 on the season. Only 3 batters have home runs. And Scott Campbell has the most. He has 6. Aiden McCaskey, who's 5-hole hitters, got 5. Stoney Smith with 3, and Stoney Smith's not in the lineup. Fastball on the outside corner. Count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Apparently just not built for the long ball, Chattanooga State, but apparently didn't hurt him. Jackson Cawthorn thought he had him another one there. That little hop step, I saw that all last summer for the Full Count Rhythm College Wood Bats Summer League team, and that's when he thinks he's got a called strike 3, but didn't happen. Full count. Pitch fouled back. And we'll do it again. Breaking pitch misses just barely, either low or inside. And a 1-out walk by Scott Campbell. '30th time that he's walked this year. Brings Adam Haber to the plate, hitting .387. Leads the team in hits with 58. No home runs, 33 RBIs, hitting from the left side. Nice stop by Jackson Cawthorn behind the plate on the low fastball. Haber from Marietta, Georgia, sophomore outfielder. Fastball at the knees on the inside corner. Called strike. Chat State has 2 fielders that made the all-conference team. Owen Brock, the catcher, on deck, made the second team. He, along with Jackson Cawthorn, who's catching Nick Holbrook. Matthew Gist, a starting pitcher on the second team. Charlie Smith, a starter for Chat State, is a first team starting pitcher all conference. Ball 4 to Adam Haber, and back-to-back walks. But runners now at first and second base, and Owen Brock steps to the plate.
Now batting for the Tigers.
Brock 8 for 24 in his last 10 games, has 10 RBIs and 2 doubles. Chat State on a 6-game winning streak. Brock from Crystal Lake, Illinois, sophomore. The ball gets away from Jackson Cawthorn in the dirt. Both runners move up on the wild pitch. I think Cawthorn thought he had that pitch. Had it smothered, but it squirted out. If it had been a hockey goalie, that would have been a goal as it squirted out behind him. Holbrook struck out Morrow to lead off the inning, but walked the next two batters and delivered a wild pitch that moves him up. Another ball in the dirt. Doesn't get far enough away from Jackson Cawthorn. Players are going to have to be a little bit careful here, as I'm sure there's some slick grass out there, and right around the home plate area you have dirt, and then you have artificial turf that is, I don't know, probably about 5 feet that almost encircles home plate, and then it's grass, natural grass. 2-0 pitch, another 0 pitch yanked in the dirt. Count goes 3 balls, no strikes to the Tigers catcher with Aiden McCaskey on deck. The 3-0 right in there for a called strike. Owen Brock coming in hitting .364, 48 hits, 12 doubles, and a triple, 39 RBIs. 3-1 popped up out of play, and we'll have a full count. Ministries full count. Owen Brock getting on base at a .522 clip. Among starters, that's third to C.J. Morrow and Adam Haber. Holbrook looking for a strikeout. 3-2 pitch, misses high and or inside, and that's 3 straight walks. Walks have gotten pitchers and teams in trouble today. Ryan Deggs of Columbia State got in trouble with walks, as Dan McShay will come out of the dugout for Motlow State to talk to Nick Holbrook. Holbrook from Cumming, Georgia, Forsyth Central High School, 6'4", 220-pound right-hander. He's a sophomore. He has walked the bases loaded. Aiden McCaskey will step in. McCaskey has a 15-game hitting streak earlier this year. In the last 10 games, he's 8 for 29, 2 doubles, 2 home runs, 10 RBIs.
Parrish, please come to the concession stand. Thank you.
One out, bases are loaded.
Number 27, Aiden McCaskey.
Left-handed hitter Aiden McCaskey steps in from Toronto, Canada. Second Canadian come to bat at this inning. Breaking pitch catches the outside corner. Nick Holbrook looking for a do-dat double play, although Gabe Seibert at second base definitely not in double play range. Big swing and a miss by McCaskey. Swung right over the top of that breaking pitch. Holbrook now ahead in the count, 0-2. Cade Chamley is on deck. Swing and a miss. Maybe a changeup that just died when it got to the plate. 3 pitches to McCaskey, 3 swinging strikes. Second strikeout of the inning for Holbrook. Now 1 out away from getting out of the inning. Cade Chamley steps in, the third baseman for Chat State. The freshman from McDonough, Georgia. I don't have any heights and weights. It's a ground ball to Seibert, who gloves and throws to first base to get the Bucks out of the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors. 3 runners left on base. We're through 1, no score on the VolState Sports Network.
Hitting off the top of the second for the
Tim
Bucks.
Reese and Reagan Smith for the top of the second inning. Reagan Smith running the dials here for the broadcast. First pitch swinging Julius Scarce. Transfer from Wren Lake College. Will play 1 year at Motlow State. Then head on to Eastern Kentucky up in Richmond, Kentucky, near his home. Scarce looks at that high fastball. He's from Lexington, Kentucky. 6 foot, 185 pound sophomore. Good looking player. Good athlete out there in center field. Has a good quick bat, hitting in the cleanup spot for head coach Dan McShay. Fouls another one off to the left side. Scarce, Van Hooser, and Jackson Cawthorn scheduled for the Motlow State Bucks. Scarce hitting .323 for the season. Charlie Smith fires one in there, high and outside. 43 hits for Scarce, tied with Valdez in the most hits for the team. 8 home runs. Taps one toward his own dugout. Van Hooser trying to make a great play over there from the on-deck circle. Count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. Slow delivery to the plate. Smith gets Scarce on a high fastball, and that is strikeout number 2 for Charlie Smith.
Now batting for the Bucks, number 32,
Tate Van Hooser will step in. For 30 in his last 10 games, 2 home runs, 8 RBIs. Looks at a called strike. From Princeton, Kentucky, another transfer from Wren Lake College. Just like Julius Scarce. Another swing and a miss. Has to back out of the way of that one. One-two pitch. Nobody on, 1 out. Holds up on a fastball high and outside. Adam Haber out in left field. Scott Campbell in center. Mason Page in right. Cade Chamley at third. Connor Linkfield at short. C.J. Morrow at second. Aiden McCaskey at first base. Owen Brock behind the plate to catch this 2-2 pitch, and he will look at a strike 3 called right down the can. Jackson Cawthorn steps in the box from Siegel High School, Murfreesboro, Tennessee. A former full count rhythm summer league player, and he will be back with the squad, I understand, this next summer. Excellent asset behind the plate is Jackson Cawthorn. He will be heading to Ohio University in Athens, Ohio. He is committed there. Becoming a Bobcat. Swing and a miss. Take a healthy cut right there, Jackson Cawthorn. 5 home runs, 31 RBIs, batting .266. The other day, the box score shows that he had 2 doubles. That is an absolute incorrect statement. I broadcasted the game, even went back and looked at those 2 singles that he had in the right field. They're definitely not doubles. So it shows on the box or in the stats that he's got 7, but I changed it to 5. They were good hits, but they were not doubles. Count goes at 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs. Charlie Smith has struck out the first 2 batters in this inning. 3 for the game. 2-2 pitch to Cawthorn. That comes close to hitting Cawthorn in the legs. Jack Gett says that his great-nephew, Owen Brock, is the catcher. Says he's from Chattanooga. Now, for some reason in the roster it indicates he's from Crystal Lake, Illinois. Swing and a miss by Cawthorn. Ball hits the dirt. Owen Brock throws high to McCaskey, but able to keep his feet on the ground. He's a pretty tall fella anyway. Strike out all 3 batters in the inning, did Charlie Smith. He's faced 6 and retired all 6. No score. You're watching the TCCAA baseball tournament action on the VolState Sports Network. Seven, 8, and 9 due up for the Chat State Tigers. Chattanooga State hosted this tournament a year ago. Cole Brennan steps in. He's the DH. Facing Nick Holbrook, who struck out 2, walked 3. But the pivotal play was a ground out to second baseman Gabe Seibert, who made a nice play to his left. Cole Brennan takes a big hack. Sophomore from Cincinnati, Ohio, my hometown. 1-1 pitch fouled off the glove of Jackson Cawthorn. Holbrook ahead in the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Cole Brennan comes in hitting .369. This is game number 36 of the year. 38 hits, 7 doubles. He hits a sharp ground ball to Irvin Hernandez. Throws in the dirt, dug out of there by Tate Van Hooser to retire Cole Brennan 6-3. Hernandez got that ball cleanly and seemed like he rushed the throw, though, thinking maybe that Brennan is a speedy runner. Mason Page steps in from Palmetto, Florida. Redshirt freshman. Ball 1, I believe. Is that? There we go. There's a called strike outside corner as it whispered as it went by. Swinging a foul tip into the mid of Jackson Cawthorn. Mason Page only playing in game number 16 of the year, hitting .353. Current hitting streak of 6 games. Now make it 7 games as he tomahawks one into center field. High fastball he got in the middle of, and there's our first hit of the ball game. Connor Linkfield, the shortstop, will step into the box with 1 on and 1 out. Linkfield from Frisco, Texas, just north of Dallas.
Number 7, Connor.
Redshirt infielder, redshirt freshman infielder. He's actually wearing a blue shirt with the number 7 on the back of it. Gray pants Chat State is in. Both teams actually in their gray pants. Called strike to Linkfield. Hitting .305. 5 doubles, 25 RBIs. There's a ground ball up the middle. That will get through into center field. Out took the legs out of Nick Holbrook there on the mound. So back-to-back singles for Chat State. They've got something brewing here in the bottom of the second inning. Back to the top of the lineup, C.J. Morrow. Struck out in the first inning.
Now batting for the Tigers, number 9, C.J. Morrow.
Send a chat on the YouTube chat. Let us know who you are, where you're watching from, who you're rooting for, just like Jack Getz did. Glad to have you on the VolState Sports Network on YouTube. 4 games have already been played on the softball complex across campus. Trying to get you a recap here. Earlier today in baseball, Dyersburg State defeated Columbia State 4-2. Walters State defeated Roane State 11-1, and Southwest Tennessee beat Vol State 11-8. So this is game 4 of the day, and a swing and a miss by C.J. Morrow. Morrow, the second baseman for Chat State, now down in the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes with 1 out. Motlow State looking for a ground ball. And a tapper foul that hits the ground and then comes up and hits Morrow. On deck, Scott Campbell. One-two pitch coming from Nick Holbrook. Swing and a miss. Took something off of that one. Struck out Morrow for the second time in 2 innings. Holbrook trying to wiggle out again.
Next to bat for the Tigers,
That
number
is
4,
the 3rd
Scott
strikeout
Campbell.
for Holbrook. Scott Campbell started a string of 3 straight walks in the first inning. All 3 were stranded after Holbrook got the next 2 batters. There's a fastball in the outside corner called strike. Campbell, a sophomore from Macon, Georgia. Breaking pitch in there for a called strike, and Holbrook ahead in the count. 1 pitch away from stranding 2 more runners after stranding 3 in the first. Mason Page had a single up the middle, as well as Connor Linkfield. There's a foul ball off to the right side. MGM Industries foul ball, thanks to Joe Gaskins, former Motlow State basketball player and coach years ago. He's one of the owners of MGM Industries, and they provided some custom-made windows for the press box. Swing and a miss, and Holbrook gets Campbell swinging and strands 2 more runners. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, 2 runners left on base. Chat State has stranded 5. After 2, there's still no score. You're watching the TCCAA Conference Tournament on VolState Sports Network. Heading to the top of the third inning, Motlow State will send up 7, 8, and 9. They are still looking for their first base runner against Charlie Smith. Retired the first 6 batters he's faced, 4 on strikes. A slider or cut fastball or something there, just like a little bit taken off of that fastball to Gabe Seibert, second baseman for the Bucks. Same pitch, same result, now 0-2. Hello to Todd Longren, Glenna Pennington, Amy Brock, Allison Page, all rooting for the Chat State Tigers, who have checked in via chat on the YouTube channel. So apparently Owen Brock is from Crystal Lake, Illinois. Did he used to be from Chattanooga? I don't know if that was just rooting for Chattanooga State. 2 pitches yanked outside. Glenna Pennington says, let's go Julius Scarce. She's rooting for the Bucks, not the Tigers. Didn't want to lump her into all the Tigers fans. There's a breaking pitch, called strike. Tim Taylor rings up Gabe Seibert, who's talking as he's heading back to the Motlow State dugout. 5 strikeouts now for Charlie Smith. J.B. Bell, the switch hitting DH, steps in there on the left side. Swing and a miss on a fastball. So far, Motlow State has been behind Charlie Smith's fastball. J.B. Bell from Buford, Georgia, 5'10", 170 pounds. He's a sophomore. Has played shortstop some this year. Been seeing him in that DH role. Transfer from Georgia Southern University. Swinging, he just cannot lay off that high fastball. Now down in the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Swings at it again, goes down on strikes. Charlie Smith throwing the dark one out there. Struck out 6 of the first 8 batters that he's faced. Struck out the last 5 straight. Tucker Allen steps in there from Sparta, Tennessee, White County High School. Leading home run hitter for the Motlow State Bucks, sitting down there at that number 9 position in the batting order. Allen hitting .310. He's got 10 home runs and 34 RBIs, 31 hits in 100 official plate appearances. Slugging .640, which leads the squad. 2 outs, nobody on. Charlie Smith trying to have 3 clean innings here to start this ball game. Misses low and outside. Allison Page watching from Palmetto, Florida. My brother has a place down there in Palmetto, just outside of Bradenton. Breaking pitch called strike. Another brother just about 45 minutes south down there in Venice, Florida. I tell them all the time, they got 2 places, one in Cincinnati or greater Cincinnati area and down there in Florida. You can't hide money. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Tucker Allen reaches out and can't touch that one. That was ball outside, but he went for it anyway. 7 strikeouts of the first 9 batters for Charlie Smith. He is rolling. We're heading to the bottom of the third. You are watching the VolState Sports Network. Adam Haber stepping to the plate for Chattanooga State to face Nick Holbrook, who has flirted with disaster here. First inning, it was 3 walks. In the second inning, it was back-to-back singles. Let's see what's in store for the Motlow State Buck on the mound. He gets Adam Haber swinging on the first pitch. And a long day of baseball here in Gallatin, Tennessee. But everybody's still alive that started the day. All teams. 3 losers today. There'll be another loser. VolState will take on the loser of this game, and Southwest Tennessee will take on the winner. Tomorrow they will play at 7:30. The winner's bracket game. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Fastball high and outside. Now Nick Holbrook's getting it up there pretty good too. Charlie Smith is bringing it. We don't have a radar gun here, but looks like low to mid-90s to me. Holbrook has the ball slip out of his hand. We'll have a Full Count Ministries full count. Go to fullcountministries.com if you want to see all that the ministry is doing in the baseball world and spreading the gospel all over. Adam Haber will take the 4th walk of the ball game by Nick Holbrook, leading off the bottom of the 3rd.
Now batting for the Tigers, number 8.
Owen Brock. Owen Brock's mama, Amy, and father, whose name's not on here, along with Nana from Crystal Lake, throw over to first base. Not in time. We love Nanas on this broadcast. I'll just tell you, Nanas, Namas, Grannies, Mimis. Ground ball in the hole, tracked down by Tucker Allen, throws to second. Safe at first base, close play. The turn by Gabe Seibert was very quick. Tucker Allen, it's a slow developing play, so Owen Brock, the catcher, got down the baseline quickly and reached on a fielder's choice, almost a do-dat double play. Aiden McCaskey steps in. He was a strikeout victim in the first inning on 3 pitches. And a 4th pitch to Aiden McCaskey is in there for called strikes, first one he has not swung at. Jamie Cheek rooting for the Motlow State Bucks. Thanks for the chat. 5 pitches, now 5 strikes. McCaskey apparently is trying a different tactic here. He's going to take strikes. Let's see if he swings at this one if it's in the zone. Jackson Cothran setting up way outside. And the throw over to first base gets by Tate Van Hooser. It'll get by far enough for Owen Brock to move up to second base. On the error, looked like the throw was good. Van Hooser just apparently trying to apply the tag too quickly. That'll be an error on the first baseman in my unofficial scorebook. First error of the ball game for either team. Puts a runner in scoring position, takes away the routine or typical double play. So he does swing and a miss at a ball in the dirt. Cothran blocks it, throws down to first to complete the strikeout. McCaskey down on strikes again. 5th strikeout for Nick Holbrook. Brings to the plate Cade Chamley. Chamley grounded out to Gabe Seibert at second base to end the first inning with the bases loaded. Cothran wanted that call and that little hop after making the catch. It doesn't get the love from home plate umpire Tim Taylor. Drive out to center field. Julius Scarce comes on and makes the catch for out number 3. No runs. No hits, one error that does not come back to bite. And one runner left on base. Still no score after 3. We are scheduled for 9 innings here in game number 4. You're watching Tennessee JUCO Baseball Tournament on the VolState Sports Network. Charlie Smith back out on the mound for the top of the 4th inning. He will face 1, 2, and 3 in the Motlow State lineup. Have not had a batter reach first base yet until right now. Irvin Hernandez serves one out into left field. A leadoff single off Charlie Smith. He was perfect through 3 innings. Irvin Hernandez now 1 for 2. Brings it to plate, John Hale. Conflicted individual, wears number 22 when they wear the yellow tops. When they wear the white tops, wears number 9. He's actually on the lineup card with the number 9 on there. See if he's going to square around the bunt, and he will. Pitch is yanked outside. And the son of Mike Brock, Owen Brock, thought about throwing down to first base, but decided not to as Hernandez scoots on back to the bag. Dan McShay may be seeing a pitcher's duel here. Batter does not square to bunt. Pitch goes high and outside. Matt Hemstreet talking about the Brock's drinking preferences on the chat. 2-0 pitch. Catches that outside corner. Folks, I don't know why. I just have a mental block about turning that field mic up. Just sounds a whole lot better on the broadcast when we have some crowd noise going, but keep forgetting to do it. We can't have the field mic on when music's playing or we'll get kicked off of YouTube, and nobody, and I mean nobody, wants that. We're not trying to sell any music here. As a matter of fact, a PA man, also DJ Qualls, occasionally play some songs I don't really care for, but makes the world go round. 2 balls and a strike, swing and a miss on a high fastball. Two balls, 1 strike to John Hale, the right fielder, with Irvin Hernandez. Another throw over to first base, not in time. Caleb Valdez on deck. First time that Charlie Smith has to pitch from the stretch. Although his windup, as that ball is tapped back to the mound, he throws to second base, and that's the only out he'll get on the high chopper. Hale grounds into the fielder's choice. 1-6. Hernandez will head back to the dugout. Caleb Valdez will stand in.
Number 10, Caleb Valdez.
The left fielder, he popped out to the shortstop to end the first inning. This is inside. Tomorrow's action will get started at 10 a.m. just like we did today. 4 more games. Fouled off to the left side. Count goes 1 ball, 1 strike. Throw over to first, not in time. First game tomorrow morning will feature Columbia State and Roane State in an elimination game. And then VolState will play the loser of this game at 1 p.m. Then 2 winners bracket games. The runner goes. That ball is tapped foul back to the backstop. John Hale will head back to first base. Hale is a leading stealer of bases for Motlow State. He is 18 of 23. Thank you, Allison Page. I just have to remember to do it as a swing and a miss by Valdez. A number of hitters have gone down on that high fastball today. Strikeout number 8.
Now batting for the Bucks, number 11, Julius Scarce.
Julius Scarce. Crystal Scarce's boy, I'm guessing, as she says that's my boy. Cheering from Lexington, Kentucky, a throw over to first. Dyersburg State will play Walter State tomorrow at the game number 3, 4:30 approximate time. And the final game will have Southwest Tennessee against the winner of this. John Hale off, swing and a miss. Throw down to second base. And John Hale is out. Caught stealing. Nice throw by Owen Brock. And Motlow State will not score in the 4th. No runs, 1 hit. No errors and nobody left on base. We're through 3.5. You're watching TCCAA Conference Tournament on the VolState Sports Network. Nick Holbrook out on the mound for Motlow State. He will face 7, 8, and 9 in the Chat State lineup. Cole Brennan, Mason Page, Connor Linkfield. For Allison Page, we'll turn that field mic up. If I forget, you can send on the chat, hey, turn up the field mic. That's all on me. We can't blame our young producer, Reagan Smith, a recent graduate, a communications degree here at Volunteer State. He's a local product from Station Camp. Stands about 6'1", 6 foot, 180. What do you go? 180? 195. Man, put the biscuits down. I'm just kidding. 2 balls, no strikes to Cole Brennan. He's well put together, young man. Now 3 balls, no strikes. Nick Holbrook asked for another baseball, and Jackson Cothran, the go-between Holbrook and home plate umpire Tim Taylor. The 3-0 pitch to the Cincinnati Kid. Cole Brennan will take a 4-pitch walk. And once again, Nick Holbrook flirting with disaster. 5 walks in the game. None of them have come home to roost yet for Chat State, but you keep on putting free runners on base, and a good team like Chattanooga State is going to take advantage. See if Mason Page is called on to lay down a bunt. They are not playing small ball. Breaking pitch stuck by the catcher, Jackson Cothran. He caught that ball and his glove didn't move. There's a breaking pitch blocked, smothered by Jackson Cothran. Mason Page, I believe, has started the last 6 games of the regular season and has a 6-game hitting streak in those 6 games. 2 balls and a strike to the right fielder from Chat State. Fastball yanked outside, 3 balls and a strike. Game number 16, it says this is his 10th start of the year, only has 34 official at-bats. And he will take the 6th walk of the ball game. Back-to-back walks for the 2nd time, actually the 3rd time, as Holbrook walked 3 in a row in the 1st inning after retiring the first batter.
Next to bat for the Tigers, number 7.
Still nobody stirring in the Motlow State bullpen, but I got to believe it won't be long. Number 9 hitter Connor Linkfield steps in. He will square around a bunt. Tried to offer it that one and not able to get the bat on the ball. He has 1 sacrifice hit on the year. Adam Haber leads the squad with 4. C.J. Morrow with 3. Apparently don't bunt a lot. Only have 12 sacrifice hits on the year. Second baseman already going over to charge, and they won't need to bunt. That ball's in the dirt and gets over the shoulder of Jackson Cothran. Wild pitch serves as the sacrifice bunt that Connor Linkfield was being asked to provide. Now runners at 2nd and 3rd. Got up to about 80 degrees here in Middle Tennessee. There's a called strike. Down in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Now down to 66 degrees. Time called. Home plate umpire Tim Taylor, not sure what was going on, but we're back ready to play now. Nobody out. 2 runners in scoring position, and they'll have a chance to score here. There's a base hit into center field. Julius Scarce comes up throwing, but the throw is cut off by Tate Van Hooser. That's a 2-run single by Connor Linkfield. Framework Athletics' first runs of the game are driven in by a 9-hole hitter, Linkfield. Solid base hit right up the middle. 3 hits now for Chat State. But the first 2 runs and walks 1 through 4 didn't come back to bite Nick Holbrook, but walks 5 and 6 have here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Still nobody headed down to the Motlow State bullpen. That ball's tapped foul by C.J. Morrow, who's looking to put the bat on the ball here. He struck out twice. Holbrook so far has his number. Still nobody out. 2 runs in. Runner on at first base. Morrow nearly got plunked with that one. He has 8 bruises on the year. Lines that one down in left field line. That's going to be a tough play. Over at the line in fair territory is Caleb Valdez and makes a nice running catch to retire C.J. Morrow. About 5 steps before he got to the foul line. C.J. Morrow trying to tuck one in down that left field line, but Caleb Valdez able to make a running catch. Swing and a miss by Scott Campbell. He's walked and struck out. Sorry for the lack of depth on our camera. That wide camera is as far back as we can put it in until we come up with a system where we have multiple camera angles. We are working on it, hopefully for next year. Cawthorn able to smother another one in the dirt. 2 balls and a strike. This year have gone to the 2-camera system, at least with the zoom and the wide angle. Runner starts to go. Bunt is down. Cawthorn able to get it. Throws to first base, but ball gets by Van Hooser. I believe Scott Campbell looked like he probably was beating that chopper off. Down there, the ball scooted away, and runner able to move up to third base. Guess that's not sure if that's going to be an error on the throw to allow the runner to go to third base, but I believe that's going to be an infield single. We'll have a mound visit by Dan McShay. I'm going to show an infield single. See if I can watch that on replay here real quick. It's not a swing, and that was an actual bunt. Yes, he was going to beat that out. The error will allow the runner to go to third base. Connor Linkfield. Honestly, the throw was there. Just looked like it went off the glove of Van Hooser. So in my unofficial book, I'll give an error to Tate Van Hooser on the catch. Infield single, second hit of the inning for Chat State. Home team in the baseball tournament is the I guess, official scorer, as I understand it. If there's a disagreement between the 2 teams, there's a chance they might come to me and ask my opinion, but we can actually go to a replay. You can watch these games after the fact. They're up on YouTube and are saved. Not sure how many years they're saved, but they're on there. Adam Haber steps in. Runners at the corner, brought to you by Line to Line. provided the netting and the padding and screens around the dugouts and the bullpens here. 2 balls, no strikes from Nick Holbrook. Fastball misses high and outside. 3-0 count. Adam Haber has walked in his 2 previous plate appearances. He will get a generous call there on the 3-0 pitch. See if Campbell takes off on this pitch. He does, and it's ball 4. Throw down to third base. Diving play by Tucker Allen to save a run right there on a throw just a little wide of third base. Tucker Allen was going from his position to the third base bag, and the ball was thrown back where he was, not where he is. Ball 4. That will be walk number 7.
Next to bat for the Tigers, number 8.
Still nobody warming in the bullpen. I'm wondering if Tucker Allen, who's already in the game, might be the next pitcher for Motlow State, as the bases are now loaded with 1 out. Can't believe that Dan McShay would just leave Nick Holbrook out to fly around in the wind here. He's walked 7 guys, only giving up 4 hits, but some high stress as that pitch hits the umpire straight on. I'm not sure what happened with Jackson Cothran, but that pitch hit home plate umpire Tim Taylor. Did not catch any of Jackson Cothran's glove. See if I can watch that on replay and see what happened. Maybe a cross-up with the runner on at second base. Looks like Tim Taylor's going to be okay. Tim Taylor was hanging out over the inside portion of the plate. Jackson Cothran set up at least middle and or away. Never got a glove on it. Went underneath the hands of Owen Brock and hit home plate umpire like right in the midsection. Swing and a miss on an off-speed pitch there. Now the count is 1 ball, 2 strikes. Aid McCaskey on deck. Owen Brock walked into first, reached on a fielder's choice in the 3rd inning, batting for the 3rd time here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Just missed inside. Jackson Cothran held it there for a moment. Count goes 2 balls and 2 strikes. Mark Dennis watching from Houston, Texas. There's a high chopper. Tough play right here. Throw to first base by Gabe Seibert. He had a bare hand play to get Owen Brock. Owen Brock gets an RBI on the ground out, but put a star by that one. For out number 2, Gabe Seibert took a hit away from Owen Brock. On the play, Scott Campbell moves to 3rd. Adam Haber moves to 2nd. Connor Linkfield scores the 3rd run of the inning. McCaskey hits a ground ball to Van Hooser, knocks it down. Will underhand to Holbrook, and in time to get McCaskey at first base. Good job by Van Hooser to smother that one. In the inning, though, 3 runs scored on just 2 hits. There was 1 error. 2 runners left on base. After 4, we finally have a score, 3-0. Chat State over Motlow State. You're watching the TCCAA Baseball Conference Tournament on the VolState Sports Network. Julius Scarce steps in. He will lead off the top of the 5th inning facing Charlie Smith. Only giving up 1 hit until right now. 2 leadoff singles by the last 2 innings. Julius Scarce now 1 for 2. Scarce extends his hitting streak to 3 games. Had a 13-game hitting streak earlier this year. The last 11 games, 10 for 35 with a double, a triple, and a home run, 11 RBIs, averaging an RBI a game in those last 11 games. Tate Van Hooser steps to the plate. He struck out in the 2nd inning. Swing and a miss. A fastball there by Charlie Smith. Smith struck out 6 straight batters in the 2nd and 3rd innings. Then gave up the leadoff single to Irvin Hernandez. That one popped up in the infield. Should be a can of corn for Connor Linkfield, and it is. Irvin Hernandez with that leadoff single was forced at second. Then John Hale, who replaced him at first base, was caught stealing after Caleb Valdez had struck out. That retired to side. Owen Brock with a hose down to second base. Jackson Cawthorn drives one to deep left field. Back goes Adam Haber, and he will make the catch right in front of the warning track. Jackson Cawthorn drives one oppo. But not far enough. Gabe Seibert. Pretty much just say everybody's been a strikeout victim. Let's see who has not struck out. John Hale has not struck out. And he's the only batter in the lineup who has not done so. Gabe Seibert steps up there with 2 outs and a runner on. Pitch in there for a called strike at the letters. Seibert came in hitting .223. It's the 40th game of the year for Gabe Seibert. 4 doubles, a triple, 5 home runs, it says on this sheet. Throw over to first base. Julius Scarce lays down on the base. Foul ball down the right side. That will get just off of the hospitality pavilion down there. I'm sure they've shut that down for the night. Had some good barbecue and green beans between game number 3 and 4. Had a double hamburger earlier and was able to eat about 3/4 of it before we had to get back on the air. Swing and a miss on a nice slider outside. Charlie Smith wasn't sure how many outs there were. He was staying out there on the mound, but that's the 9th strikeout for Charlie Smith in 5 innings. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 runner left on base. We're through 4 1/2. Chat State leads 3-0. You're watching the VolState Sports Network. Nick Holbrook will get a quick visit from Jackson Cawthorn before we get started here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Nick Holbrook will face Cade Chamley, Cole Brennan, and Mason Page, 6, 7, and 8 in the Tiger lineup.
Leading off the bottom of the 5th for the Tigers, number 3.
Cade Chamley 0 for 2, ground out and a fly out. Chamley not sure that was a strike. He looks back as Tim Taylor calls that a strike. Holbrook working quickly. Well, there's another pitch, which looked pretty close to me. Called a ball, 1 strike. Ground ball to Seibert. Breaks down, makes the catch, and throws on to first base. Thought he was going to overcharge that ball, but he did not. Gabe Seibert making some nice decisions and nice plays out there at second base.
Now batting for the Tigers,
Cole Brennan will step to the plate. He walked and scored in the 4th. Grounded out to short in the 2nd. Just going to take a guess. 6'3", 190 pounds. I asked the coaches to put heights and weights on here. I thought maybe that didn't get communicated, but there are no heights and no weights, so I'll just make it up as I go sometimes. Unless you're a family member of Cole Brennan and you want to send in what you think height and weight might be. Looks at a called strike. Let me know where he's from in Cincinnati if you're watching and listening. What high school did he go to? Grounds up the middle. Irvin Hernandez charges, gloves, throws, and off target. Safe is the call at first base. Jake Wolf, first base umpire, says that Tate Van Hooser did not make the tag, so an error on Irvin Hernandez on the throw allows Brennan to reach.
next to bat for the Tigers, number 28, Mason Page.
3rd error on the Bucks. 1 out now, 1 on. Mason Page steps in. He singled in the 2nd inning, then walked and scored in the 4th. That is off the hip of Tate Van Hooser as he was moving toward the foul line. Jake Wolf says he called that fair, even though it actually was not his call, as I think he gave a little mea culpa to Tim Taylor. It's actually the home plate umpire's call before the ball gets to the base. I actually didn't see the home plate umpire. See on a replay if we can see what he made the call, but a fielder's, actually not a fielder's choice, a 3 unassisted for the 2nd out. On the play, Cole Brennan moves up to second base. Blocked by Cawthorn. Connor Linkfield had a big 2-run single. Actually, the home plate umpire did not even make a call, not until after Jake Wolf had made the call, as I looked at the replay. Count goes 2 balls and no strikes to the shortstop for Chat State, number 9 hitter Connor Linkfield, who's 2 for 2. Scored a run and driven in 2. Vying to become the right rug flooring player of the game. There's a breaking pitch, got to be a called strike, and it is. You got an eyeball on who's warming up in the bullpen down there, DJ Qualls. Just put the binos down. Breaking pitch misses inside. Count goes 3 balls and a strike. On deck, top of the order, C.J. Morrow. Got a right-hander, looks like loosening. Swing and a miss. Count goes full. We'll have a full count. Ministries, full count. Not a lot of them here in the early stages of this game. 1 for 1 on full count first pitch foul balls. See some blankets out across the legs here on either side of the press box as the temperature is dipping. Now down to 65 degrees. 3-2 pitch in the dirt for walk number 8. Runners now at first and second. C.J. Morrow up with 1 out. Sorry, 2 outs. Kay Chamley grounded out to start the inning. Cole Brennan reached on an error. Mason Page then grounded out to first base unassisted. Now a walk. Holbrook should be out of the inning, but still out there with a strike on the outside corner to C.J. Morrow. Right-hander in the bullpen, number 31. Carson Cheek getting warm. Holbrook got to have thrown a lot of pitches. There's a changeup that Cawthorn blocks, but does squirt away, not far enough for the runners to advance. Morrow 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts and a flyout. Hit one down the left field line that Caleb Valdez tracked down. What a nice running catch. Fouls that one off the screen. Scott Campbell is on deck, retrieves that foul ball. Low tonight, supposed to be 56 degrees. We are getting there quickly. High tomorrow, 84. Looks like a 6% chance of rain, so basically no chance. 0-2 pitch from Holbrook. Strike 3 called. And that is breaking pitch right on the outside corner. Third time that Morrow has gone down on strikes. First time looking for the third out. No runs, no hits, 1 error, 2 runners left on base. We are through 5 innings, 3-0. The Tigers lead. You're watching the VolState Sports Network. Top of the 6th we go. Motlow State will send 8, 9, and 1 to the plate to face Charlie Smith out for his 6th inning of work. J.B. Bell, the switch hitting DH. Swung and missed at that pitch in the 3rd. Was the 6th strikeout victim. Charlie Smith now has 9 after 5 innings. Cole Brennan's an Anderson High School grad, 6'4", 190. Thank you very much, Sean Brennan. Anderson High School, isn't that where Tom Brenneman is from, I believe? Anderson High School over there by Turpin. Can't remember now what part of town that is, over maybe Beachmont Avenue or something like that. Charlie Smith still throwing hard, but 3 out of the zone. Cole Brennan. I thought 6'4". I was pretty close at 6'3", 195. 4-pitch walk to J.B. Bell. That is the first free pass by Charlie Smith. Owen Brock will go out and have a chat with the freshman. Tucker Allen will step in. He's a strikeout victim in the third inning.
For the Bucks, number 2, Tucker Allen.
Bucks trying to scratch the scoreboard here in the runs column. Fastball catches the outside corner at the letters. Charlie Smith hasn't been really a strikeout pitcher with less than 1 an inning, but striking out Bucks at more than 1 an inning here. Try to see what the strikeout high for Charlie Smith is on the year. Swinging a foul tip off the glove of Owen Brock. He has surpassed his high water mark in strikeouts. Had 7 in his last start against Dyersburg State. Apparently missed a couple. It's a 10th strikeout right there from Tucker Allen. He had reached 7 twice.
Next to bat for the Bucks, number 1, Irvin Hernandez.
Had 7 strikeouts against Edison State. That was not a game started, so maybe Charlie Smith has not started that many games unless they just didn't put that in there. There's Irvin Hernandez squared around the bunt and then had to quickly reverse course as that fastball was right at his face. Went 7 innings, struck out 7 at Dyersburg State. Drive out to center field, sends Scott Campbell back, but he will get under it and make the catch. Or out number 2. Brings John Hale to the plate. He's 0 for 2.
Now batting for the Bucks, number 22, John Hale.
Charlie Smith missed the Southwest Tennessee series and the Columbia State series. Not sure if he had an injury or what was going on there. Runner goes, pitch is thrown high, nobody's at the base. Late arriving is Connor Linkfield. J.B. Bell will get a stolen base. Move into scoring position. J.B. Bell with his 4th steal of the year in 5 attempts. Owen Brock threw a strike down there, but he threw it to nobody. Unless J.B. Bell was going to catch it while he slides into second base. I don't think it was a delayed steal. It looked like straight up steal. Long pause on the mound for Charlie Smith. He wants a new baseballs. He gets a swing and miss by John Hale. On deck, Caleb Valdez. I told you there's something wrong with the stats in terms of games started. He is not, Charlie Smith, not credited with a game start against the Pioneers. And I look back at the box score, and in fact, not only did he start, he completed in a complete game. An off-speed pitch sails high. Tough for the junior colleges, don't have the sports administration staff really to keep up with things like that, honestly. So it's not like I blame anybody. I'm just a stat nerd, so that ball is fouled down the right field line. McCaskey gives chase. Cannot come up with that. Pop up down toward the Motlow State bullpen. I'm a scorebook nerd and a stat nerd. I like keeping a scorebook and making sure that stats are accurate and accurately recorded. 2 balls, 2 strikes to John Hale with a runner in scoring position. He reached on a walk, stole second. Hale able to lay off of that high fastball. Many have not. As I said earlier, the only Motlow State batter to not have struck out, not strucken. That'd be really Southern, and he does strike out now. Strikes out on a 3-2 breaking pitch. Nice pitch by Charlie Smith, who appears to be reluctantly walking off the mound like he doesn't want to stop pitching. He gets his 11th strikeout of the ball game. No runs, no hits, no errors. 1 runner left on base. We're through 5.5 innings. Chat State with the 3 spot in the 4th, lead 3-0. You are watching the VolState Sports Network. Two, 3, and 4 scheduled for the Tigers to face Nick Holbrook back out on the mound for inning number 6. First pitch in there for a called strike to Scott Campbell. 1 for 2 with a bunt single and a walk. Holbrook working quickly. Count goes to 1 ball, 1 strike. He has the sign and the pitch. Swing and a miss on a slider. Another slider, and then Campbell will go down looking. Not sure what he was looking at there, but he wasn't expecting a slider to break across the plate. He will go sit down with the 7th strikeout on the ball game by Nick Holbrook.
Now batting for the Tigers.
Except for 8 walks, Nick Holbrook has done a great job on the mound. Only given up 4 hits. Adam Haber fouls that one off. Adam Haber has walked 3 of those 8 times. Does not have an official plate appearance yet Just misses with that pitch at the knees on the outside corner. Now he wants a new baseball after dropping that ball back from Jackson Cawthorn. I'm sure it's very wet out there in the grass now. Outfielders have to be careful when they come up throwing that ball. It could squirt out and go anywhere. Haber able to hold up on that fastball. Count goes 2 balls and a strike. Called strike as Haber's moving his feet out of the way of that pitch. I believe Haber agreed with that one. Misses with that offering, and we'll go to a full count. Ministries full count. Three-two foul ball. 2 for 3 in this game number 4. Adam Haber, 6th in the conference in batting average at .387 behind teammate C.J. Morrow. Strike called, a second caught looking. Nick Holbrook looking strong here in the 6th.
Next to bat for the Tigers, number 8.
Chattanooga State has 3 of the top 11 batters. Here's number 11 right here. Owen Brock looks at a called strike. Walked in the first and grounded into a fielder's choice in the third, grounded out in the 4th, swings and misses at that breaking pitch. Nearly hit with that pitch in the hip. Able to do a little dance move. Not sure what we should call that move, but it's when the rear end goes away from the plate. 1-2 pitch, misses high. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and nobody on here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Another full count, Ministries full count. On deck, Aiden McCaskey. Tied for the 2nd team all conference. Breaking pitch by the other catcher who's tied with Owen Brock. Jackson Cawthorn started to throw that one down as though he had struck out the side, but it is walk number 9. It is a wonder that Chattanooga State isn't leading 10-0. Just haven't been able to get that timely hit. There's a base hit right now that sends Holbrook to the ground, and on the play, Owen Brock hustling all the way, and he gets to third base on the single by Aiden McCaskey. 5th hit of the ball game for Chat State. Runners at the corners, brought to you by Line to Line. Thanks to Stephen Dotson and his crew that made this field a lot safer this year with netting in front of the dugouts, padding around as well, and much more aesthetic with the nice screens around the bullpens.
Number 30, Cade Chamley.
Head coach Jim McGuire here has got Pioneer Field looking a lot better than the day he walked in 2 years ago. Runner goes, pitch is called a strike, throw back to the pitcher. Holbrook can't keep his feet there on the mound. He'd made the catch. Runner at third started to head to the plate. I don't know that he had a play on Owen Brock over there at second base, but never got a chance to throw it to Tucker Allen on that first and third play. Lost his footing. This time he didn't have a ball screaming at him like Aiden McCaskey's shot up the middle was. McCaskey now 1 for 4. Two runners in scoring position with 2 outs. Holbrook struck out the first 2 batters of the inning, both looking, then walked Owen Brock for his 9th walk of the ballgame. 8 strikeouts, 9 walks, 5 hits given up and times called as Jax Cawthorn will go out, talk to the right-hander from Cumming, Georgia, Forsyth Central High School. 6'4", 220 pounds, sophomore. Gotta believe this is the most walks that Nick Holbrook has given up on the year. Tapped foul at the plate. Count goes no balls and 2 strikes. Holbrook coming into today's game had pitched the most innings for a Bucks pitcher, 56 innings. Yanks one low and outside. Jackson Cawthorn just saved a run. Holbrook had 6 walks and 9 strikeouts against the Tigers back on March 19th. Walked 7 batters against Cleveland State. Here's a ground ball that'll sneak into right field. 1-1 will score. Looks like 2 will score. As John Hale not able to get the handle on that softly hit ground ball that sneaks through the right side. 2-run base hit by Cade Chamley. Chat State takes a 5-0 lead. And the 9th walk comes home to score. Of the 5 runs, 3 were walked aboard. Fastball at the knees to the Anderson High School product in Cincinnati, Cole Brennan, who is 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. Blocked by Cawthorn, who's working like a dog back there behind home plate. The Ohio University commit. So twice, Nick Holbrook has 7 walks in a game. A win over Jackson State and Cleveland State. Motlow State got the win there, 12-11 over Cleveland State, not Chat State. All these stats running together in my head. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner goes, pitch in the dirt. Cawthorn comes up throwing, but he didn't have a chance to get Chamley. Bad pitch to try to throw down. Stolen base for Chamley. Steal number 5 in 5 attempts on the year. Another runner in scoring position. Chat State leads 5-0. 5 runs, 6 hits, no errors, no runs, 2 hits, 3 errors for Motlow State. Just missed with that breaking pitch. Sends us to a full count. Ministries full count. Mason Page scheduled next for the Tigers. Swing and a miss, and Nick Holbrook gets his 9th strikeout. Strikes out the side, just happened to have hiccups in between. 2 runs on 2 hits. No errors. 1 runner left on base after 6. 5-0 Chat State leads. You're watching the VolState Sports Network. Tim Reese and producer Reagan Smith. For game number 4, we are headed to the top of the 7th inning. 3, 4, and 5 due up for Motlow State, who now find themselves down by 5 runs. Charlie Smith still out on the mound, and looks like he's heaving that ball as hard as he can. Struck out 11 batters so far in the ball game and given up only 2 hits. They've been leadoff hits the last 2 innings by left-handed batters. Irvin Hernandez served one in the left field. Julius Scarce drove one into right field. Caleb Valdez, another leadoff left-handed batter. Now gone 3 balls and no strikes. Valdez 0 for 2. Four-pitch walk to Caleb Valdez. Second walk in as many innings by Charlie Smith. That will result in a visit from, I believe, Dion Felger, the pitching coach in his 2nd year with the Tigers. Greg Dennis, head coach in his 20th year with Chat State. Also assistant coaches Logan Fleener and Josiah Juligay. Both of them in their 1st year at Chattanooga. Julius Scarce will be next up for Motlow State. He's 1 for 2. Strikeout in the 2nd inning and a base hit in the 5th. Stranded at first base, though. Motlow State has only had 1 batter get to second base, and that's J.B. Bell, who led off the 6th with a walk and stole second, but stranded there. Fastball misses high. It's 5 straight outside the zone for Charlie Smith. Scarce starts to go, holds up, but pitch is called a strike. Your favorite team will be playing again tomorrow, either in the winner's bracket or in the loser's bracket. A couple teams will go home tomorrow or stay home, depending on where they might be. Swing and a miss. Scarce heading off to be an EKU colonel next week or next year. Swings and misses at another high fastball. I believe that's how he struck out in the 2nd. Strikeout number 12. With each strikeout, Charlie Smith just adds to his career
Next to bat for the Bucks,
high.
number 32, Tate Van Hooser.
Tate Van Hooser, a strikeout victim in the second. Popped out to short in the fifth. Fastball misses outside. Charlie Smith was perfect through 3 innings. Struck out 7 of the first 9. There's a breaking pitch, catches the heart of the plate at the letters. Swing and a miss. Cut fastball or just a little tight slider there. Looks like when he rears back and really fires it, he's going to throw it high in the zone. That was an off-speed pitch. Not sure where that missed, maybe a little inside. That was a tough pitch to take with 2 strikes. VolState, one of 3 campuses with lights: Chat State, VolState, and Columbia State. High fastball claims another victim. Strikeout 13 for Charlie Smith.
Now batting for the Bucks, number 25.
Now the
Cawthorn.
stat nerd that I am, want to see if I can find the most strikeouts by a pitcher. Ball in the dirt. Owen Brock keeps a runner at first base. Another pitch outside the zone to Jackson Cawthorn, who's 0 for 2. And we have eclipsed the most strikeouts by the Tigers in any game. They had 10 against Roan State. Now 3-0 to Cawthorn. Only hit double digits 1 time. That game at Roan State on March 24th. There's a 3-0 pitch right down the can. Nobody getting loose in the Chat State bullpen down in left field. Both bullpens are within the fenced-in area. They also are fenced. Drive out to right field. This sends Mason Page back, and that will get to the fence. Jackson Cawthorn will get to second base. He will motor on to third with an RBI triple to break up the shutout. Caleb Valdez comes around to score the first run of the ball game for Motlow State. Jackson Cawthorn been flirting with that outfield wall for a while. I thought that ball might have had a chance to get out of here, but maybe the night air is holding the ball up a little bit.
Next to bat for the Bucks, number
Framework
12.
Athletics, first run of the game for Motlow State. Gabe Seibert steps in. He's struck out looking and swinging 0 for 2. Jackson Cawthorn hit first slide into third base. Seibert didn't look like he was trying to get out of the way of that pitch. It looks like a bug that he's swiping out of the way in the dirt. Cawthorn's second triple of the year, according to the stats. Cal now goes 2-0. Got a pitch he could handle on that 3-1 pitch and drove it to the base of the fence over the head of Mason Page out in right field. Popped up into shallow left field. Link field called off by Adam Haber, who makes the catch for out number 3. 1 run on 1 hit. 1 runner left on base. through 6.5, 5-1. Chat State now leads over Motlow State. Looks like we might have a Summit Concrete call to the bullpen for Motlow State. We'll tell you about the new pitcher when we return on the VolState Sports Network. Summit Concrete call to the bullpen for the Motlow State Bucks. Carson Cheek on in relief of Nick Holbrook, 6'2", 215-pound right-handed freshman from Lewisburg, Tennessee. Attended Marshall County High School. On in relief Holbrook, the starter, who goes 6 innings, gives up 6 hits, 5 runs. They were earned, walked 9, struck out 9. In line for the loss right now is he is the pitcher of record for Motlow State. Carson Cheek on for his 12th appearance of the year, all in relief, has a 1-0 record, 4.34 ERA. Thrown 18 plus innings, given up 17 hits, 10 runs, 9 earned. Walked 19, struck out 18. Not the ratio you're looking for as a relief pitcher, of course. Opponent's hitting .233 off the right-hander. He will face 8, 9, and 1 in the Chat State lineup, who have had their deficit cut by 1 with the RBI triple by Jackson Cawthorn. Mason Page, right fielder, steps in. He's 1 for 2 with a single and a walk and a run scored. Big overhand breaking pitch misses, maybe high. Nick Holbrook did an outstanding job limiting the number 3 hitting ball club in the conference. Chat State overall hitting .340, hitting .297 in conference play. Pretty big disparity, but both are number 3 in the conference. Motlow State has a 6.86 team ERA in the conference, which is good for 5th. 2-0 pitch in there for a called strike. Oh, it's 3-1. A slow developing ball out there. Must have fell asleep during one of them. That ball fouled off and brings us to a full count. Ministries full count. So says DJ. Alex Qualls also running the scoreboard. Full count, first pitch, foul ball. Three-two pitch in the dirt, gets by. Mason Page will move down to first base. Carson Cheek walks the first batter that he faces. That's the 10th walk of a Tiger batter
Now batting for the
today. Connor Linkfield.
Connor Linkfield.
Been on base all 3 times he's come to the plate. Singled in the second. Singled drove in 2 runs in the 4th and walked in the 5th. Overhand breaking pitch called strike. Looks like another right-hander getting loose down in the bullpen. Throw over to first base. Not in time. Motlow State looking for a dudette double play, and there's be a changeup in there for a called strike. Come close to a dudette double play, but have not had one here in game 4. I think we had game 3 of them in that game 2. Throw over to first base. Not in time. Getting harder to see through my reflection here in this window with I had to turn the lights out so that there's no reflection. But I have my little lamp and that's not working very well. Fouled off. Feeling pretty good about a 1-2 count here, Qualsey. Home plate umpire with a throw over to first base. Talked about this a little bit before the game number 3 about making sure that umpires calls that we can see them from behind here. Another foul ball at the plate. Sometimes umpires will call strikes and their hand sign is right in front of them. No outs, runner on first, overhand breaking pitch. Misses high. Count goes 2 balls and 2 strikes. Game has come to a screeching halt here, it seems. Very slow and deliberate. Little soft line drive out to Gabe Seibert off the bat of Linkfield, and he'll be the first out. Brings to the plate C.J. Morrow, who's 0 for 4, struck out 3 times, looking for his first base hit of the ball game.
Next to bat for the Tigers, number 9, C.J. Morrow.
Mason Page stays at first base. He walked to lead off the inning. Haven't had a whole lot of night action this year for the VolState Pioneers. Getting a little bit used to broadcasting at night through these windows without any light in the press box, operating with the lights from computers. Throw over to first base. Page back in time. Pop up right over the top and hits the roof of the press box right behind home plate. Nearly had one off the MGM Industries custom-made windows. We've only had one ball that a breaking pitch, I think, that missed in front of the plate, popped over the fence or over the netting behind home plate and hit the window in front of our Toyota of Gallatin scoreboard operator at the time, but window held strong. Just put a ball mark out there. Carson Cheek, 2 balls and a strike to C.J. Morrow. Breaking pitch. I'm telling you, that's a floater in there when he gets that one going. Somebody said, I said at one point in time that it looks like a parachute dropping in. I believe that was Matthew Gist's father. Bill, I believe, is standing over here to the left of the press box. Tapped foul down the third base line. Matthew Gist, the left-hander for Chat State. We might see him tomorrow. Two balls, 2 strikes to the Chat State second baseman, C.J. Morrow. Probably hadn't been too many games this year that he's gone over. Now we'll have a full count. Ministries full count. Thanks for tuning in on the VolState Sports Network on YouTube. Send us a chat if you like. Let us know who you're rooting for, where you're watching from. Give you a shout out. Runner goes. Pitch is drilled out the left field. And that will get past Caleb Valdez in left field to the fence. Runner will be held at third base. C.J. Morrow gets that base hit that he's been searching for. Double over the head of Caleb Valdez. Mason Page moves up to third base with 1 out. First extra base hit for the Chat State Tigers today. Hit number 7. Scott Campbell checks into the
Now batting for the Tigers,
batter's box. Walk, Scott, 2 strikeouts, and a bunt single. Cawthorn smothers another one. NHL playoffs going on right now, and Jackson Cawthorn will need to take just a minute to recover from that one. That might have got him in a bad spot. When you look on a score sheet here and you're looking down the list of batters and you've got a batter that's hitting 342, you expect him near the top if it's sorted according to the batting average. Scott Campbell is 8th on the list with a 342 batting average, which is 2 points above the team overall average of 340. It's ahead in the count, 2 balls and no strikes. It's a good hitting ball club, and they're still behind Walter State. Fastball catches the inside corner for a called strike. And behind, I think it's Southwest Tennessee, it's number 2. But yet not a whole lot of home runs, just 14. Another block by Jackson Cawthorn. Somebody's going to have to work overtime on getting Cawthorn's pants clean. He looks like Pigpen at the end of every game. And I call that a term of endearment, actually. He's a hard-working catcher back there from Siegel High School, Murfreesboro, Tennessee, just east of Nashville. And it is ball 4 to Scott Campbell, the second walk that he's received today, and the second walk given up by Carson Cheek. Wonder how long of a leash he'll have. Bases now loaded with 1 out. The 3-hole hitter Adam Haber up at the plate. He was finally retired on a called third strike in the 6th, walked in his other 3 plate appearances. He also is seeking his first hit of the ball game. Swings and misses at that High fastball. Haber's second on the sheet with a 387 batting average, leads the team in hits. Second in on-base percentage at .523, and that mark has gone up in this ball game as he's been on 3 out of 4 times. Another pitch in there for a called strike. Carson Cheek on in relief of Nick Holbrook. That ball gets by Cawthorn. Everybody will move up 90 feet. Mason Page will come in to score. Takes away the double play possibility. Haber now looking at a 1-2 pitch. Six to 1, Chat State now leads. Swing and a miss. Down goes Haber for the second consecutive time. First strikeout for Cheek.
Now batting for the Tigers.
10th time that a Tiger has gone down swinging. They've walked 11 and struck out 10. That right side of the box score is going to look huge. Owen Brock steps in. He's walked twice, grounded into a fielder's choice and grounded out as an RBI and a run scored. Opportunity right here to get a 2-out knock, drive in 2 more runs for the second-seeded Tigers. Foul tip into the glove of his fellow second-team all-conference catcher. 2 of them standing right next to each other, or squatting and standing. Cheek delivers. Another breaking pitch in the dirt. Holbrook worked very, very quickly. Even though he walked 9 batters and struck out 9 batters, it seemed like the game was going at a pretty good clip. Since Carson Cheek's been in the game, feels like we've been here for this inning for about 45 minutes. He's only faced 5 batters. This is the 6th batter he's faced. Another ball in the dirt. Jackson Cawthorn going to have to take a ice water bath tonight. A lot of pitches thrown per at bat. 3 ball, 1 strike count now. Aiden McCaskey on deck. Tapper due third. Tucker Allen on the second hop throws over to first base. That will retire Owen Brock 5-3, but Chat State scores another run. 1 hit. No errors and 2 runners left on base. We're through 7, scheduled for 9. 6-1, Chat State leads on the VolState Sports Network. J.B. Bell, Tucker Allen, and Irvin Hernandez scheduled to appear for Motlow State Bucks. Here in the top of the 8th, they have 2 more cracks at Charlie Smith, who delivers a fastball in there on the outside corner. A little bit of an unusual warm-up for Charlie Smith. I just noticed, I don't know if he'd been doing that, but really wasn't standing on the mound or at the rubber to do warm-up tosses. He's just standing on there, just throwing as hard as he could to Owen Brock. Or probably not Owen Brock, it was somebody else that was warming him up. Owen Brock made the last out of the bottom of the 7th. Two-one pitch to DH J.B. Bell, called strike. Bell walked, stole second in the 6th inning. He's only come to the plate twice. This is his 3rd appearance, a strikeout and a walk. And now 2 strikeouts and a walk, swinging strike 3, number 14 of the season. The season of the game, and
now batting for the Bucks,
season high,
Tucker Allen.
Charlie Smith or any other Chat State Tiger. Not sure what the most strikeouts in a game is for anyone in the conference. Have to do a whole lot more digging that I can't do while I'm also broadcasting the game. And all my researchers have gone home and tucked themselves into bed here at 10:40 Central Time. Tucker Allen taking big hacks. Fouls that one off. Strikeout victim number 7 and number 10 in the 3rd and 6th inning. And now 1 pitch away from being number 15. Team's leading home run hitter with 10. Ropes one to third base. That's off the backhand of Cade Chamley, and that'll get down. That'll be a base hit for Tucker Allen. Smoked that shot down to third base. About all Tucker Allen could do was try to stick a glove out and hope it goes into his mitt. Infield single for Tucker Allen, who's now 1 for 3. Again, we are not the official scorebook. It's just
number 1, Irvin Hernandez.
My opinion. Alex Qualls, our Toyota of Gallatin scoreboard operator, typically throws up there what I say. Irvin Hernandez, who's 1 for 3, backs out of a way of a strike on the inside corner. Motlow State needs 5 runs in the next 2 innings. That ball gets in the dirt and gets away from Brock. Down to second base goes Allen on the wild pitch. Charlie Smith has been working quickly, but might be taking the little bit of extra time here. Hit high and deep in the right field, but that would get over to the Motlow State bullpen and out of the range for Mason Page. If you come to the ballpark during this week, or have you ever been at the VolState Pioneer Field, you'll notice a outfield sign as Irvin Hernandez goes down on strikes. That's number 15 for Charlie Smith. What a performance
Now batting
by
for
the
Bucks,
freshman from
number
Knoxville,
22,
Tennessee.
John
There's a sign
Taylor.
out in left field. It has a number 8 on it. It says Schrum. It says no regrets. That's the only number that's been retired here, taken out of circulation here in Volunteer State baseball. Young man Hayden Schrum, who was a right-handed pitcher here for a couple years, moved on to MTSU. He ended up contracting leukemia and passed away in 2010. John Hale swings and misses. So the family of Hayden Schrum is in honor of the young man who meant a lot to the program back in 09 and 2010. Even after he was gone, I think he left in 2007, but at the time, head coach Mike Crosland, who had coached him while he was here, had ended up honoring him by retiring his number. So we try in the 8th inning of some games to make mention of that. There is strikeout number 16. Owen Brock will complete the out with a throw down to first base. 16 strikeouts for Charlie Smith after 8 innings. We are headed to the bottom of the 8th. Chat State leads 6-1. You're watching the VolState Sports Network. Headed to the bottom of the 8th, Aiden McCaskey will step in, facing Carson Cheek. McCaskey 1 for 4, singled and scored in the 6th inning. Taps one toward Gabe Seibert, picks it up, throws over to Van Hooser at first base. 1 pitch, 1 out. Got to be one of the best pitching performances of the year in the conference. Charlie Smith with 16 strikeouts so far in 8 innings. Overhand breaking pitch from Carson Cheek gets in there for called strike. Cade Chamley, the third baseman. 1 for 4 with 2 RBIs. Another breaking pitch misses down low. Not sure how many pitches Charlie's pumped in there, but he looks pretty strong after 8 innings. There is somebody warming in the bullpen. I'm not sure if Greg Dennis will let Charlie go out there for the 9th inning. I believe Ty Burchett, right-handed pitcher, is warming in the bullpen. One ball, 2 strikes, 1 quick out here in the bottom of the 8th, and there's a hard shot to Hernandez, a short. He's up and over to Van Hooser. 2 up, 2 down. Scheduled To bat for Motlow State in the 9th inning.
Next
3,
to bat
4,
for
and
the
5,
Tigers,
Valdez,
number
Scarce,
15,
and Van Hooser,
Cole Brennan.
who are a collective 1 for 8 against Charlie Smith. Cole Brennan, the DH, gets another AB here. 5th plate appearance. 0 for 3, walked and scored in the 4th. Starts to go after that high fastball and holds up. Count goes 2 balls and no strikes. Thanks for sticking around late here in Middle Tennessee from wherever you're watching, whether it be Cincinnati or Houston, Texas. See where else people have checked in. Lexington, Kentucky. Crystal Lake, Illinois. Maybe even Chattanooga's. Count goes 2 balls and 2 strikes to Cole Brennan. I got 2-2. Is that what you got, Reagan? We got a late arriving. There we go. That scoreboard gets tired too, Qualsey. There's a pitch in the dirt. Just wondering if you're sleeping over there on that scoreboard. Full Count Ministries, full count. Gotta find a new PA man for tomorrow morning. 3-2 pitch. Cole Brennan just stares at it. Wasn't sure if that was going to be called strike 3. I assume he was waiting on the call from the home plate umpire. Looks like we'll have a pinch runner for Cole Brennan. See who we got. Number 13. Stoney Smith will come in to run for Brennan.
Pinch running, number 13.
From
Stoney
Goodlettsville,
Smith.
Tennessee, right around the corner here.
Next to bat for the Tigers, number 28, Mason Page.
Can't remember where he went to high school. Stoney Smith, but is he a Greenbrier? All right. Then why does it say he's from Goodlettsville? I would think he'd be from Greenbrier if he went to Greenbrier. Fastball catches the inside corner. Mason Page at the plate. Somebody rooting for Mason Page. Allison Page checked in on the chat earlier. Seems to make the broadcast go by better with communication between listener and broadcaster. Got folks from Palmetto, Florida, the Page family. 1 ball, 1 strike to Mason. Swings at the high breaking pitch, fouls it down the third base line. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 quick outs, and then a walk. Brings Mason Page to the plate. He does the dance move out of the way of that pitch. Feet don't move, but the rear end heads away from the plate. Chattanooga with 3 runs in the 4th, 2 in the 6th, 1 in the 7th. And we'll have another Full Count Ministries full count. Cheek retired the first 2 batters quickly, but full count walk to Cole Brennan, and now another Full Count Ministries full count to Mason Page. Connor Linkfield due up next. Runner will be going on the pitch as Tate Van Hooser plays behind him. And there is a full count first pitch foul ball. Nick Holbrook, the starting pitcher for Motlow State out to snag that foul ball and toss it over to the home dugout. Other than 9 walks, he pitched a pretty good game. 9 strikeouts. Another check swing. Let's see if Jackson Cawthorn can get over, and he will. Doesn't even waste time on tossing the mask away and makes the catch. Heading to the top of the 9th inning. Motlow State needs a 5 spot to stay in this ball game. They're down 6-1. You're watching TCCAA Baseball Conference Tournament action on the VolState Sports Network. Motlow State,
Top of the 9th.
one more crack at Charlie Smith, who's out there for the 9th inning, trying to get a complete game. And a first pitch to Caleb Valdez, who's the only runner to touch home plate for Motlow State in this ball game. Called strike. Charlie Smith with a long pause. That ball's popped up. That'll get out of play. Sounded like it hit grass just inside the fenced-in area here. 4 games tomorrow. I have to suck down some hot tea and honey maybe all day. Coat this throat. Back at it at 10 a.m. 0-2 pitch. Valdez able to hold up on that high fastball. Columbia State versus Roane State at 10 a.m. right here at the Pioneer Field. VolState versus the loser of this game. Quick turnaround. There's a fisted base hit down that left field line. Valdez will be content to stay at first base. Throw comes into second. No sense trying to stretch that when you need 5 runs. 5th hit of the ball game for
number 11, Julius Scarce.
Motlow State. Valdez now 1 for 3. Julius Scarce has one of those 5. He is 1 for 3. 16 strikeouts for Charlie Smith, and unless something crazy happens, Charlie Smith is going to be the right rug flooring player of the game. Square around a bunt is Julius Scarce bunting for a base hit, but offers and comes up empty. Thanks to Kerry Gilbert of Right Rug Flooring for the support of VolState baseball and provided the new carpeting for the press box here back before the season started. RightRug.com, R-I-T-E, rug.com. Kerry Gilbert, the salesman here in Middle Tennessee. Breaking pitch stays a little bit high. Still got somebody standing down there in the Chat State bullpen just in case Charlie Smith gets into some trouble. And leadoff single probably not considered trouble enough yet. Scarce gets on, it might mean something. Pitch misses down low. Charlie Smith, a freshman from Knoxville, Tennessee. Yeah, he attempted to bunt. There's a high chop that Aiden McCaskey will just be content to catch and step on first base. Or the easy out on the play. Valdez moves to second. Now use the word content twice here in the top of the ninth inning. I will effort to not say it again. Van Hooser steps to the plate. Starts to go, but holds up on the fastball inside. Charlie Smith steps off the rubber here, takes a couple deep breaths, and now sticks his foot back in that hole. Looks in for the sign. Has it from Owen Brock and will deliver. Strike called at the knees on the outside corner. Jamie Cheek checked in and said, "Attaboy, Chico." Breaking pitch in there for called strike two. Chico in reference of Carson Cheek, the relief pitcher for Motlow State. Fly ball out to deep center field. Back goes Scott Campbell, and he will be in front of the wall out in right center field. I don't think he quite got to the warning track for out number 2. Charlie Smith runs from backing up third base to get the baseball, and he is 1 out away from a 9-inning complete game.
Now batting for the Bucks, number 25, Jackson.
Has a strikeout in every inning so far except this inning. 16 for the game. Jackson Cothran steps in. That one will go to the backstop, and in will come the second run of the game. Caleb Valdez will score on the wild pitch. Now all Jackson Cothran has to do is hit a grand slam with nobody on base, and this game's tied up. Reagan Smith, what do you think about that? Baseball history made right here in Gallatin, Tennessee. Not going to happen. Not for 4 more batters. Cothran sees one right by his nose for ball 2. Jackson 1 for 3, hit a triple into right center field, drove in the first run of the game. That's the only RBI for Jackson State. Let's see if he even offers it a 2-0 pitch here. Called strike. Cothran been standing in front of Tim Taylor all night long, and I'm sure he has not agreed with some of those calls. He definitely didn't agree with that 2-0 pitch. Swings and fouls that one off. Motlow State now down to their last strike. Chat State wins this ball game. They will face Southwest Tennessee tomorrow. And this time slot, the 7:30 p.m. time slot. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. And Charlie Smith with 17 Ks and a strikeout in every inning gets a complete game victory. Gets his 9th win of the year. And Chattanooga State defeats Motlow State 6-2 6 runs, 7 hits, no errors for Chattanooga State. Motlow State 2 runs, 5 hits, and 3 errors. Nick Holbrook will take the loss. Holbrook will fall 2-7 on the season. A complete game victory. What a pitching performance, as Charlie Smith got to be the most strikeouts by any pitcher this year in the conference. 17 Ks. As Motlow State in the ninth scores 1 run on 1 hit. No errors, nobody left on base. 6-2. Chat State will play Southwest Tennessee tomorrow. Motlow State will take on the VolState Pioneers, and that game will be at 1 p.m. tomorrow. Thanks for joining us today for 4 games. I'm sure none of you caught all 4, but Reagan Smith and I were here for all 4, along with Alex Qualls, and most of us will be back for all 4 tomorrow, efforting to find a public address announcer for tomorrow's first game. But for Commissioner Forrest Chasen and Athletic Director Bobby Hudson here at VolState and Reagan Smith, this is Tim Reese saying so long for now. We'll talk to you tomorrow. God bless you and good night.